July 5, 2017. A SWAT team in Bangkok kicks down a luxury villa door. Inside, a 25-year-old Canadian worth $23 million. Alexandre Cazes ran AlphaBay, the dark web's largest marketplace. Over 200,000 users, 1 billion in illegal transactions, perfect anonymity. But years earlier, he made one mistake that would destroy everything. A single unprotected login. 8 seconds. That's all it took. One man's empire, built on absolute digital invisibility, against the FBI's cyber division, Europol, and 5 international agencies hunting him across encrypted networks. What he doesn't know yet, they already have his real name, his location, the evidence to seize every server, every Bitcoin, every carefully constructed alias. All from his digital footprint, back when he thought nobody was watching. Here's what haunts investigators. How does one unguarded moment obliterate 6 years of perfect operational security? And what did they see in those 8 seconds that he missed for 2,000 days? The answer would unravel everything. But first, you need to understand just how untouchable he'd become. By early 2017, AlphaBay was unstoppable. Over 200,000 users, more than 40,000 vendors, millions in transactions daily. Drugs, weapons, stolen credit cards, hacking tools. If it was illegal, AlphaBay sold it. The marketplace had become larger than Silk Road ever was. $1 billion in cryptocurrency. Gone. And the man running it was a ghost. Every communication routed through Tor. Every payment tumbled through Bitcoin mixers. Every identity carefully compartmentalized. Alexandre Cazes, though nobody knew that name yet, operated under layers of encryption that even the FBI's most sophisticated tools couldn't penetrate. Not one. The FBI assembled a task force. The DEA joined. Europol coordinated across 17 countries. Thai police stood ready. Hundreds of agents working one case. 0 leads. We had the largest criminal marketplace in history operating right under our noses, one FBI agent later recalled. And we had absolutely nothing. No name, no location, not even a country. Cybersecurity researchers studied AlphaBay's architecture with grudging respect. The operator was textbook perfect. Every possible vulnerability had been anticipated and closed. Every potential mistake preemptively avoided. He was the perfect ghost. But here's what nobody on that task force knew yet. They'd actually found him years earlier. They just didn't realize it. What they discovered in those old archives would change everything. But to understand how one mistake haunted him for 6 years, you need to see where it all began. Rewind to his early days, before AlphaBay, before the millions, before Alexandre Cazes became the most wanted cybercriminal on Earth. Back when he was just another kid, learning how the dark web worked. Learning. Here's the thing about becoming invisible online. You have to learn how first. And learning requires asking questions, posting on forums, making mistakes in public while you figure out encryption, cryptocurrency, operational security. The dark web promised anonymity, but it required education, and education leaves traces. Every forum post lives forever, not just on the original server, but in archives, backups, cached copies scattered across 1,000 databases. The internet forgets nothing. It just waits. Forensic investigators understand this better than anyone. They hunt for what they call digital childhood, the time before suspects knew the stakes, before they understood how permanent everything really was. Everyone has a digital childhood, forensics experts explain. Before they knew the stakes, before they understood how permanent the internet really is. That's where we hunt. In his digital childhood, Alexandre Cazes was learning, experimenting, asking questions on messaging forums, thinking the posts were private, temporary, forgettable. He was wrong. But the investigators needed to find the right archive, the right forum, the right post. There were millions to search through. Then, buried in a routine data sweep, they found it. Years ago, someone posted to a messaging forum asking for technical help. The username was Alpha02. The question was routine. What happened in those next 8 seconds would eventually destroy a $23 million empire. But here's the insane part. Cazes had no idea he'd even made a mistake. What they discovered in that single moment would haunt him for 6 years. Unbeknownst to him, he'd just handed investigators everything they needed. Here's what happened in those 8 seconds. Cazes is typing his forum post. Halfway through, his session times out, a routine server security measure. The forum logs him out automatically. Silence. Frustration sets in. Frustrated, wanting to finish his thought, he immediately logs back in. Without his VPN. 8 seconds. That's how long the interruption lasted. In his mind, he was logged in the whole time, just continuing his post. He wasn't thinking about operational security. He was thinking about finishing his sentence. The server knew differently. When he logged back in, unprotected, the server captures everything: his real IP address, the timestamp, and critically, his email address used for account recovery, pimp_alex_91@hotmail.com. The log entry sat in the forum's archive for years, waiting. It's the most human thing in the world, a security researcher later noted. You're typing something, you get kicked out, you log back in annoyed. You're not thinking about whether your VPN is active. You're thinking about that half-finished sentence. It exploited a fundamental human truth. Frustration overrides discipline. One email address, one IP address from his early days. But here's where it gets interesting. That alone wasn't enough to take down a dark web empire in 2017. The investigators needed to prove this careless kid from years ago became the ghost running AlphaBay. And that's where the real detective work began. Little did Cazes know, every piece of his digital childhood was about to be weaponized against him. What happened next would shock even veteran investigators. They started with the email, pimp_alex_91@hotmail.com. One forensics team began searching every database they could access: forum archives, blockchain transaction records, data breaches, social media archives. Anywhere that email address might have appeared before Cazes went completely dark, it showed up everywhere. Early AlphaBay welcome emails sent to beta users, a LinkedIn profile created in 2013, forum posts on cryptocurrency boards, each instance carefully documented, time-stamped, archived, perfect trail. Another team analyzed writing style, linguistic fingerprinting, comparing the phrasing, grammar patterns, and word choices in that early forum post against AlphaBay administrator messages posted years later. Perfect match. A third team ran time zone analysis. When did the AlphaBay administrator post announcements? When did maintenance windows occur? When was the site most responsive? Everything pointed to Southeast Asian time zone, specifically Thai hours. The pieces started connecting. The number 91, likely a birth year. 1991. Alex, probably a first name. Alexandre, Alexander, Alex. The IP address from his early posts traced to a Canadian ISP, Canadian citizen, first name Alex, born 1991. We call it constellation mapping, an FBI agent explained. One star is just a dot, but when you step back and connect them, suddenly you see the whole picture staring back at you. By early 2017, they had it. Full legal name, Alexandre Cazes, Canadian citizen. Birth year, 1991. Last known location, Thailand. But here's what made this case extraordinary. They still couldn't touch him. Knowing who he is wasn't enough. What they needed next would require the largest coordinated cybercrime operation in history. And one more critical mistake from Cazes himself. AlphaBay's servers were scattered across multiple jurisdictions. Seizing them required coordinated international action. One misstep, and Cazes would disappear forever. Warned by the news of seized servers in any single country, Operation Bayonet began. The FBI, DEA, Europol, Dutch police, Thai police, and agencies from 14 other countries coordinating in absolute secrecy. But they needed more than his name. They needed physical evidence, proof of assets purchased with criminal proceeds, a location for arrest. Following cryptocurrency is nearly impossible, but converting it to real money, that creates records. They found the records. Between 2014 and 2016, Alexandre Cazes purchased 4 luxury properties, one in Thailand, one in Antigua, 2 in Cyprus. Combined value, over $8 million. Every deed filed under his real name. His real name. He bought a Lamborghini, a Porsche, multiple other luxury vehicles, Thai registration documents, all in his name. He lived in a penthouse villa overlooking Bangkok. He frequented nightclubs. Everyone in certain social circles knew Alex the Canadian, the young guy with the exotic cars and endless money. He lived like a celebrity, Thai police later confirmed. Sports cars, penthouse views, nightclubs. He wasn't hiding in the real world at all. Perfect digital security, flashy physical lifestyle. The compartmentalization was working until investigators connected both sides. But knowing where he is and proving what he did are 2 different things. They needed one final piece. Catching him logged in, red-handed, to the AlphaBay admin panel. And for that, they needed him to make his second mistake. Unbeknownst to him, he was already making it. What they were about to discover would seal his fate. Mid-2017, surveillance teams positioned around his Bangkok villa, monitoring network traffic, watching patterns. Then they detected it. Occasional logins to AlphaBay's admin panel coming from a Thai residential IP address. Not through Tor, not through a VPN. Direct connection. His home address. 6 years of perfect operational security, and he made the exact same category of mistake twice. Different context, same fatal assumption, that his VPN was protecting him when it wasn't. This is the operational security paradox, a security researcher explained. The longer you maintain perfect discipline, the more your brain starts to autopilot. You think you turned on the VPN. You're certain you did, but you didn't. It exploited a fundamental human weakness, the false security of routine. Every time Cazes logged in unprotected, investigators documented it. Real-time proof connecting this person, this location, this account. The case was ready. On July 5, 2017, at 5:47 a.m., Alexandre Cazes logged into AlphaBay one final time. At 6:20 a.m., his bedroom door explodes inward, and that's when everything changed. Thai SWAT moves through the villa in synchronized teams. Cazes is at his laptop. The screen glows. AlphaBay's admin panel, wide open. User databases visible. Transaction records displayed. Administrator controls active. No time to close the laptop. No time to encrypt anything. No time to destroy a single piece of evidence. His fingers freeze over the keyboard. He looked at us, then at his screen, then back at us, a Thai officer recalled. You could see it in his eyes, the moment he realized he was caught, logged in, with everything visible. In cybercrime cases, attribution is everything. Prosecutors struggle to prove that a specific person controlled a specific account at a specific time. Not this time. The evidence was irrefutable. Alexandre Cazes, physically present, controlling AlphaBay's admin panel at the moment of arrest. They seized $23 million in cryptocurrency, properties in 3 countries, multiple luxury vehicles, every hard drive, every device, every piece of the empire he'd built, gone. Within 72 hours, AlphaBay went dark. Over 200,000 users locked out. 40,000 vendors' storefronts seized. The largest dark web marketplace in history, gone. But the story doesn't end with the arrest. What happened in the Thai prison cell 1 week later would ensure Alexandre Cazes never faced trial. July 12, 2017. 7 days after his arrest, guards found Alexandre Cazes dead in his cell. Ruled a suicide. He never answered questions, never explained his methods, never faced the families of people who died from drugs sold on his platform. Silence. People forget there were real victims, one family member said. People who died from drugs sold on that platform. His death doesn't give us closure when we never got answers. But the case against him was already airtight, built on 2 login mistakes separated by 6 years, 8 seconds in his early days, 1 unprotected session in 2017. That's all it took. The technology didn't fail him, a forensics expert reflected. Tor didn't fail him. He failed himself. Twice. That's the lesson. Perfect security requires perfect discipline, every single time, forever. In the months following, investigators used AlphaBay's seized databases to arrest hundreds of vendors and users worldwide. The operation continued dismantling the ecosystem, even after its creator was gone. But here's the thing. The marketplaces keep coming. New operators launch new sites. They study Cazes' mistakes. They promise better security, perfect anonymity. And somewhere in their digital past, their 8-second mistake is already waiting. What they don't know yet is that investigators are already searching for it. Here's what should terrify every dark web operator right now. The internet archives everything, forgets nothing. Every dark web operator currently running a successful marketplace has their own early days. Before they knew the stakes. Before they perfected their methods. When they were just learning, making rookie mistakes on forums that felt private. Those posts are still there, in archives, in backups, in cached copies scattered across servers they've never heard of, just waiting to be found. There are operators right now running successful marketplaces who think they're safe, a security researcher warns. But somewhere in some forum archive from years ago, there's a login, a comment, an error. It's already there, just waiting. The mathematics are brutal. An operator must maintain perfect security every single day, for years, never slipping once, never making a single mistake, not once. Investigators only need to find one mistake once. We're patient, an FBI agent confirmed. You have to be perfect every single day for years. We only have to find one mistake once. Right now, someone is building the next AlphaBay, perfecting their security, studying past failures, convinced they've solved the problems that destroyed their predecessors. And somewhere in their digital childhood, maybe a forum post from years ago, maybe an unencrypted email, maybe a momentary VPN failure they never noticed. Their mistake already exists, preserved, archived, permanent, waiting. Unbeknownst to them, a forensics team somewhere is already running the searches. The question isn't if investigators will find it, it's when.